Breeze. What a great piece of music to come into. We've got with us on the phone Mississippi's music and cultural ambassador, Steve Azar. How you doing, Steve?
Lucian, good morning.
Good morning to you. You playing some golf this afternoon?
No, we had a show last night in Little Rock, Arkansas, and heading to the races this weekend to be with my wife's family from Arkansas. We're going to go to the Arkansas Derby and just spend a little time with our parents, my in-laws and sisters-in-laws and brother-in-law.
Well,
It'll be a good weekend.
That's a good way to spend a weekend, and Ryan and I were just talking about it. It's a great weekend for something like that, being half inside and half outside at some races.
Oh, yeah, we can't wait. And they're off. I'm ready to hear it.
Well, look, you must be I know we're not quite to the point of being able to celebrate yet, but we're very close, as you know, to your song being the state song of Mississippi. That's got to be a source of excitement and pride for you.
Man, this has been the wildest ride. Talk about the music business being a wild ride. So it's been so many. It was deja vu. You're chasing sort of a number one record. You're trying to get there, or you're trying to, and there's just so many things that have to happen and have to the stars have to literally align. But I can't tell you how much Team SuperTalk, just the folks that I've gotten to know in time and over my lifespan of playing music in Mississippi and moving back home, and just the work and the amount of bodies and souls and minds it took, because I believed in this because I had 4 years under my belt of playing it for folks after writing it, and everybody that I ran into, that's got to be our state song. That's got to be, and it wasn't something that I planned on. It just kept happening, and so this took a lot of people to make this happen, and I'm so grateful to everyone. And I got to tell you, Lucian, of all the musical moments in my life, anything that I've ever done in my career, this is by far, this will be the greatest thing to ever happen musically in my career. I can promise you that.
That's saying something, because you've got a lot to be proud of musically. Tell us a little bit, Steve. How did the song originally come about? How did you come to write the song?
Well, Governor Bryant, he brought me in. He said, we have the bicentennial, and he goes, I know you stand for all Mississippians. And I made the joke. I said, well, I have to, because I need all the fans I can get. I can't decide. I can't take sides. And I mean that in tongue in cheek, but I do mean that. He said, I'll never forget it. He said, Steve, I need you to write a song for Mississippians. And then I said, okay. And he goes, and I want you to I want something that children can sing. And when he said that, I said, oh, man, I got chills. I got chills now thinking about that moment. And I wanted him to let me go, but he wouldn't. But the more he talked, I realized how passionate he was and how important it was for me to get it right. The song wrote itself. I'm telling you that. And those are the best ones that happen, because they come from true honesty. Once you learn the craft of writing songs, when you really know how to do it, you're waiting on those inspirational moments where it just flies out, and it's a no-brainer. The chords, the melody, the guitar, everything just happened on the first take. There was no me thinking anything. And so I did want to make sure that I incorporated all of Mississippi. And I wanted to, and that was a long process. So I knew it was going to be probably as long as American Pie, So that was the only thing. But yeah, it was a great moment. And then when the children at St. Joe learned it, at my alma mater, and from K through 12, and they came in with no lyrics, they knew them, and we got to do that performance and that recording. That's when I said, well, I text Governor Bryant and I said, that's what you wanted. Look what just happened. And so he was so moved, and I was moved. And now there's schools I'm hearing around the state that have already learned it. Some, one school in Columbus, an intermediate, middle school in Olive Branch. And so the goal now is to take it to the kids and let it be their song that can unify us all, because we are one Mississippi, and it's time that anytime you can have something that represents being one, I feel like I got it right. And like I said, I feel like I didn't write it. I feel like the good Lord wrote it, but at the same time, I think we got this one right. And I got to tell you, man, I'm struggling talking right now because this has been an emotional ride.
I'm sure.
It's something I wanted so bad, and I almost wanted it too bad because I knew what it would mean to me as far as my career is concerned. And everybody in Nashville that knew me knew that I had to have Mississippi on every record, that at some point I'm going to turn the corner. And when I moved home, I was able to stay true to all of that. And all my last records, my last couple records have been that. I made a record with 4 BBs, one of Elvis's, one of Little Milton's, and some of my guys, and the documentary from 2 albums ago. And then My Mississippi Reunion was basically an idea that Craig Ray said. He said, Steve, why don't you put a record together of all your new songs? And I had 4 new ones. And One Mississippi was one of them.
Wow. That
I'd really never released on an album. So then there was Rosedale, there was Midnight, and there was Coldwater that I got Cedric Burnside to join me with. So, it's an interesting thing. My time here and my time with Visit Mississippi and as a music and culture ambassador, it's actually helped develop me further as a Mississippi songwriter. And Springsteen's got the Jersey Shore. Bob Seger's got Detroit. Mellencamp's got the Midwest. And I feel like, my calling's always been Mississippi.
That's great, Steve. And I of those 4 places and those 4 musicians, I think I'm sticking with you in Mississippi.
Well, listen, just FYI, I don't fit in their world at all. I mean, these guys are superstars, I didn't want to put myself in that category. What I meant was, I meant that it was important for me to be honest, and there's no way I live in any other state and grow up in any other part of the world where I make music. It had to be Mississippi. It was in the water, and I just happened to be swimming in it one day, and then the game was on. And so it's been a heck of a career, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, I got to tell you. But I've been married to the same wife for a lot of years, over 30. We're closing on 32 years. Got 3 great kids. Our kids were born and raised mostly in Nashville, but they got to spend enough time in Mississippi before they graduated to understand what it felt like for me to grow up, and it definitely mattered and changed their complexity of who they are and added substance to them. So this whole ride's been a true blessing.
Well, it's one of those things that I think so typical in a wonderful way about people who are from Mississippi. I mean, with relatively few exceptions, I feel like when folks who are from here go somewhere else, whether it's for their entire career or for a part of their career, I think they, for the most part, continue to think of themselves first and foremost as Mississippians, even if they're living in Nashville or New York or Los Angeles or wherever. I think there's a great attachment to the state from people, no matter where they end up going and making their careers.
Well, I can tell you this, that you're right about that. And I have had a little taste of people saying, oh, my God, that reminds me of home, thank you. But when One Mississippi was written, it was another level. So the people that have responded to this song, I've had men that don't usually cry.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Said, I've cried. And I love hearing that allegiance to a place that they grew up. And it reminds me of home. It takes me home. I feel like I'm there. And also, this song I know is a unifying song because I have seen people from all demographics, from all places in Mississippi, from all walks. Everybody seems to be in, so that's a beautiful thing. And the doubters that are, I hope that we'll convince them in the long run that this was a good thing.
I have no doubt that we will. And Steve, thanks for being with us, and thanks for all you've done to promote Mississippi and to help us get a song I think we can all be united behind.
Thank you, brother. It feels great, and y'all have a great weekend. Blessings. I love our Mississippi.
Hey, you too, Steve. Thank you so much. This is Lucian Smith in for Gerard Gibbert here on Middays.